Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Be Sober podcast by me, Lisa,
And by me, Alex. How's
and
things
whoever
been
else
going?
we get on.
Oh yeah, it is. And whoever else we get. Well, we actually have got a really good. We've got a double dip today, haven't we?
A double dip. You can't say that without me thinking rude thoughts.
Well, you used to say double dip when we actually went cold water swimming. So, and I used to
Oh,
have rude
yeah,
thoughts
I
then.
did actually double dipped. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just like normalize double dip. It doesn't have to be rude.
Okay.
It was funny, right? Because last night I was laying in bed thinking, oh, we've got a double dip tomorrow. And then I thought, well, I can't say that. It's rude. So it's really funny that you've said
But so it's
it.
actually really thought about this double dip.
It is. Oh, have you had a lot on this week? Busy time or nice and peaceful for once? You have a busy life.
I know. You know what? You ask me these questions and then I go blank every time because I try and think what I've done. We've both been at concerts this week. You've been to one, I've been to one, very
Yeah, really
different. This
different.
I love this though. I was thinking about this last night, like because I'd
You
seen it
weren't
on your
thinking about double
story.
dipping then.
No, I wasn't thinking about double dipping. But I'd seen it on your story that you'd gone to the concert. And I thought, oh, we should talk about this because it just shows how like different we are, and I love it. So you tell us about yours.
Well, what's funny is I had a similar thought, not quite that, but like last night I was sat there in this concert and thinking, gee whiz, who'd have thought I'd have been sat in a cathedral?
I
But
get
it's
it.
true. And the thing that made it, I mean, loads of things made it dead nice, but the thing that made it the most special for me was how much my husband Sam loved it.
Oh, so who did you go and see?
Right, so I went to see a world-renowned organist, and she's the musical director at Cambridge University called Anna Lapwood. And I don't know the full story, but from what I can gather, she's 28. She's a female organist, which is dead rare in itself, but she's literally made the organ cool for young people.
That's
So,
good.
and for women, because, notoriously, it's always been an old man's instrument.
Yeah, yeah. Double dipping, bringing
But
it back.
Lord of old men on their own organs. But it has. And then, like, when I used to play when I was like 11, 12, it wasn't cool to play. And I was like, almost a little bit embarrassed when people used to say, what do you want to play the organ? Because I knew what would come in. We've had this conversation before. Oh, you're
Yeah,
playing the organ. You can play my organ. All that bull that I hated.
perverts.
Yeah, I know. They were, yeah. Blech. Anyway, so, but she's made it cool. She's doing all like the Hans Zimmer music from films and, the Interstellar stuff. She did The Bells of Notre Dame from The Hunchback, the Disney film. She did Test Drive from How to Train Your Dragon. And then it was just amazing. It was absolutely fantastic to hear it in that acoustic setting at Manchester Cathedral. The
Oh,
queue
yeah.
was massive. I couldn't believe it. We thought, oh, we're at the back, which obviously we were at the back when we got there. But it
Yeah.
like more than doubled after that. And we were dead
Wow.
lucky because when we went in, we didn't have reserved seats. They were like VIP seats and then just undesignated seating. And the woman said as we went through, you can sit anywhere, but not in the middle or on the side, black seats. And as we went through to the next bit, one of the stewards said, do you want to sit here? And it was right at the back. And I said, no, we're going to have a look over this side. And usually we'd have probably sat, but we wandered round and we got a front seat just past the VIP seating. So we could
Oh,
see everything.
wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. And she came out and she caught eye contact with me at one point, right? And smiled. And I just had this feeling of, does she think she knows me or like, because it felt like she thought she knew me, but I thought I'm just being
Yeah.
silly. Anyway, we watched the concert. We had an amazing time. Sam loved it. I loved it. It was like at points you couldn't hear a pin drop. And then at other times it was just booming, amazing. And at the end, she said, I'll do a meet and greet. So I said to Sam, I want to go and meet her. And he was like, oh, it'll take ages, Alex. I was like, well, it's not going to take more than one night, is it? And we've got more than one night in our lives. Like, why do we all bother about things? And what stuck in my head was when our ambassador Fiona took me to see Michael Mosley.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of that, I'd said to her, get your book signed because he was doing a book signing. And she was like, no, 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 the queue will be massive. And she regrets it now, obviously, because he's passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
and it just went in my head. And I'm not saying Anna will because she's only 28, but I just thought, why would I? Why would I not? I'm there. I might never ever see her again. It'd be nice to go and say hello.
Yeah.
So I got to the front of this queue. Sam said, "You run, and I'll like follow you on with the camera." So I ran to the front, and then she went, "Can you come round the side to everybody?" And so people started to move to the side, but the pop-up cafe was in the way. So I just pushed my pushed my way through. And I was like, Anna said we can come through here. Would you let me through, please? And I got right to the front again.
Oh my
So
God, you're so brave.
I was first in, literally first in to meet her. And as I went
Right.
in, she
I
went,
need to ask you. Go on, you
"Go
tell
on,
me
no, go on,
first.
go on."
No, you go. You go.
We're gonna have an argument. You, me, you. So as I got in, she went, "Do I know you? Have we met?" And I was like, "No, we've never met. I follow you on Instagram though." She was like, "Oh, you're the organist PT, aren't you?" I was like, "Oh, she's following my Instagram."
Oh, that's so
But
good.
she's obviously, from me following her and liking her stuff, she's obviously checked out my profile. But because I've got such like distinctive hair, I reckon
Yeah, yeah, you're
she
recognizable.
thought she'd
Yeah.
met me. It was
Oh,
dead
that's
nice. So
so
she's dead down to
cool.
earth. So,
Well, what I wanted to ask you is if she hadn't have said that, what would you have said to her?
the same as what I did actually say to her.
Go on, what
So
did
I
you
just
say?
literally said, "Hi, it's really nice to meet you. I just can't believe how cool you've made the organ for women, especially." And I said, "Do you sell your music that you've arranged? Because I can't find Hans Zimmer anywhere." She was like, "Yep, go on my website." So that's what I wanted. That's the reason I wanted to
Oh,
meet her
so
was
you
not
had a
just,
question.
yeah, the reason I wanted to meet her wasn't, even though I was a bit fangirly, which I wasn't that fangirly, but it was more because I wanted to get in and out quick. Um, I actually wanted to ask her something related. So I thought, I'll never
Yeah,
find that
that's
answer
good.
out.
It's when
Yeah.
you've got a question in it. Like, I think I'm traumatized from that monk, me. So I don't have questions.
Yeah, what an idiot. When I went
So like
through as well.
when it comes to things like that, or like I've when I've been to stuff and I really like them and they go, has anybody got any questions at the end? I never ever have a question or know what to say. So like even when I had a book signing by Louise Minchin and these other women at the Kendall Mountain Festival that I went to,
Yeah.
and they were dead inspiring and I absolutely loved the talk and I wanted the book. But I had no questions. And all I did throughout the whole queue was think, what am I going to say when I get there? What will I say when I get there? Do I just like, what do I say? And it makes me really
I get
uncomfortable.
that. I do get it because like you feel a bit silly like going up doing stuff. And I thought to myself, well, she's the public figure. She's
Yeah.
gonna know what to say to you, even if you don't know what to say to her. Like she was
Yeah,
really
but would
lovely.
she?
Well,
Because
she
like
did.
when you're meeting and greeting so many people, do you have like do you think they have certain sentences that they say on this meet
Well,
and
yeah,
greet?
because she obviously said, "Do I know you from somewhere?" And once we got that out of the way, and I knew she'd thought that because she'd seen me from that
Yeah, because you'd got
distance.
eye contact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I proper did know that she'd thought that, or I thought she'd thought that. But then she said, because it did obviously it goes quiet. Then I've asked her a question. She's told me where to get the music from, like what we're going to say now. We're going to talk about the
Yeah,
weather. You know, it's
off
my
you go.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no.
So then she said, "Do you want a photo with me and we can share it on Instagram?" You know, she was just casual and normal.
Yeah,
And then I got
she's
this
used to
photograph and
it.
I did that thing where I felt huge. Like, I get now why you feel tall because I was tall to her.
No, is she that tiny? Why
Yeah.
are famous people so tiny?
Don't know, but she not only was she tiny in height, she was slight in build. So she just made me look like a massive butch
Oh, I'm
monster.
glad I weren't there. I'd look like a giant.
You really would. And then she directed us out the other door, which was dead funny because the where we'd sat in the cathedral would have meant we were last out because we were right over the other side of
Oh,
the exit.
yeah.
But because she took us through a one-way bit, we were like first out as well. It was
I
well,
love it. Did you feel like a VIP?
yeah, it was dead nice. It really was.
Good.
And you know, just so glad we went. And it, like I say, it made it dead special because Sam loved it.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
it was
nice.
dead nice. So come on, your concert.
So me and Rob went to see Liam Gallagher, and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. So the tickets I only got the week before because I'd signed up to alerts and it had like emailed me and said there's some
I thought we'd never discussed where you were going, and I've
yeah,
not
oh,
started.
I'd actually forgot I'd signed up to alerts and I just got this email saying there's tickets for Liam Gallagher. And I was like, oh my God. So I went through and ended up getting 2 tickets. And then it said, because you'd signed up to alerts. And I was like, oh, I must have really wanted to go to do that. But it was at the new Co-op Arena in Manchester. And honestly, I was thinking it's a bit of a ball ache concerts, isn't it? The getting there and the parking and the
That's the
like.
bit that I wasn't looking forward to
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
just easier not to go sometimes. So I was a little bit apprehensive, but I really wanted to see Liam. Me and Rob both love Oasis. Like Rob loves them that much. He grew his hair like Liam Gallagher in the 90s. Do you know what I mean? So he absolutely loves them. So I rang him from work the other day and I was like, guess where we're going? So he was absolutely buzzing that we'd got tickets. So we got there. The parking was amazing. There were attendants everywhere from where we parked. Directing, found it so easy to get to. We looked and was like, oh my God, that queue's massive, but it went really quick. It was so organized. They had hundreds of like food stalls, drink stalls. They had where you could go and get your own drinks. They had alcohol-free beer there. So you could go get a can of alcohol-free beer, pour it in a cup. And they had also like little foil lids, for people so they didn't get spiked, which I thought was so good. But the hot dogs were amazing. There were no queuing. It was just overall an amazing experience. And they got supported by a band called Cast, which was again another 90. I didn't think I knew any of the music, but I did actually. But yeah, absolutely loved it. It was so good when you know the words in it.
And in it different as well. Yeah, because we knew same sort. I mean, there were no words, but we knew the music, but the same sort of
Yeah.
thing. And one thing I wanted to ask you about it, because I found this was people would like, as soon as she announced it was the interval, the queue to the alcohol was wild. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Straight away.
yeah.
And it just made me think how glad I am that I don't drink in those situations now. Not because I would have been desperate for a drink or anything, but after the interval, people were so much more fidgety. They were up and down a bit more.
Yeah.
And also, like, less mindful of how noisy and rustly they were being and stuff.
Oh, I
And
can imagine in a situation like
yeah,
that, it would be quite noticeable. But I felt it because there was a couple down below us who were absolutely steaming. And I get so interested. Like I can't not watch stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So the
yeah,
guy
I do.
next to me,
It's not a
I
judgy
could
thing. It's just an
no, it's
observation.
just like, yeah. So the guy next to me was like fidgety because he was drinking not a lot. It just went. Is it bad? I know he had 3 pints, right?
Yeah, that's bad. You've actually watched.
But no, I wasn't. It's because in the concert you're on kind of row, so he's got to go past you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I could feel him like fidgeting to go past. But yeah, there was a couple down below that were, and she was steaming. And I actually thought if she were next to me, I'd want to punch her because just the way she were dancing on her arms and there were beer spilling and the like. So I think she caught my eye because I was really glad that I weren't next to her because
Yeah.
it would have really irritated me. Even though we were dancing, you're mindful of your personal
That's the
space.
thing. It's just about being more mindful. So we had a can each of just Coke Zero, but like putting it down, we were careful and we were making sure
Yeah,
we didn't put it
yeah,
near our feet. And every now and
yeah,
again, you'd hear a can get knocked over, or do you know what I mean? Just it wasn't lots,
yeah.
and it wasn't that kind of event. As one of our B fitters said this morning, it wasn't like heading to a mosh pit. Do you know what I mean? They were
Oh,
pretty
I saw mosh
civilized.
pits at mine. I saw mosh
Yeah.
pits. I saw the mosh pits down below, and honestly, I was like, thank God I am not standing because we had such a good time. We had a brilliant view as
You were
well.
on the right of the stage, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like, and I saw your view, but the weird thing was one of my other friends was on the opposite side and she'd taken a video and a photo on the same night. And I was trying to zoom in to see if I could see you and
Oh,
Rob.
that would have been so cool if I was like that.
Yeah,
That
I
would have
couldn't
been
see you though.
so
I didn't know
cool.
exactly where you were. But
But
yeah,
no,
go
I
on.
did see a few like at the bottom, there was like an area and people get kept getting taken away by like the paramedics were in and stuff like that.
you
And I
see.
was like, my God, I never realised how hard them guys work during a
This is
concert.
what this is my point, I guess, that like obviously my audience, they were going to a cathedral to listen to an organist. They
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
the sloshed kind in the main. They
yeah,
weren't going out for a party, but they were still all just having the odd one or two. And I
yeah.
thought, I'm so glad. And my point what I was making is if you're gonna be sort of taking the edge off to just relax a bit, how little you realize at the time that you're taking the edge off that entire experience.
Oh God, yeah,
You're taking the edge off
yeah.
the good bits as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what it does. Is it numbs you out, doesn't it? It numbs out bad stuff, but it also numbs out good
Yeah,
stuff, and you
and it
don't.
really does.
Yeah, like the feeling we got there. There was a few bits where I was a bit conscious because of when you sat at a concert, but then you're all stood up. It's not the same kind of dancing space. Like you
Yeah,
can't let go the same. So I was a little bit
especially not if you get asked to sit down like we did at Robbie
Oh,
Williams.
that was so. I was telling Rob about that because I explained. I said, imagine now. I said, we were there at the Robbie Williams concert. I said, and the guy and his
He asked
wife
me, didn't he?
behind, everybody was stood up, weren't there?
Yeah.
And he tapped on your shoulder and said, can you sit down?
I said, "No."
That was awful. That was a good concert, that.
That was a good concert.
It was such a good concert.
Should we get back on the topic of Liam's? Because you said Liam Gallagher. Do you want to say who our guest is? It's not Liam Gallagher.
Oh no, it isn't. I've never
Your face then, you were like, what? What are you on about, Alex? Liam
Yeah.
Browne?
Oh, yeah, Liam Browne, the founder of the Full Power Cacao, which I'm really excited about, actually. I'm excited to speak to him.
Has he written a book called From Healer to Dealer or
Yes,
something?
yeah, it has, from healer
So
to dealer.
so
No,
weirdly this
no, no,
morning.
no, from dealer to healer.
Oh
From healer to dealer.
yeah, because the weird thing is this morning in Be Fit, one
Yeah,
of the participants, one of our members,
yeah,
said, "Oh, I'm reading this amazing book at the minute from let me get the right way around this time, From Dealer to Healer by Liam
yeah.
Browne." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny. He's coming on our podcast." She went, "Oh, I've got a bit of a crush on him."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I'll have to
interesting.
tell you who the member was later, won't I?
Yeah, you will. You will have to tell me.
Do we let him
No,
in and let him
that's really good.
introduce himself?
Is he here? Is this
Yeah, he's
what
here.
are you getting to? Right, this is what I'm confused about because you didn't mention that he was in the waiting room and it's 11:23.
Yeah, he's a bit
So I
early, isn't he?
weren't expecting. Yeah, yeah. You've tried
But
telling
if
me, haven't you, without telling me.
oh, well, he flashed up on my side, so I thought he must have flashed up on your side. He was flashing at me.
No, because what happens is when we go into a Zoom, even if I come first, because you're a control freak,
Yeah.
you take the host.
Oh, you know
So
what? On our next podcast, I'm going to tell you, not today, not on this one, but on our next podcast, we're going to talk about me being a control freak.
right, okay.
Yeah, so if you want to know a bit more about me being a control freak, come in 2 weeks. You must. Right, let's let him in.
Right, yeah. Now I know he's here.
So hopefully he's entered, and we just need to get Liam to put his camera and mic
I
on.
think it's because you'd stop me mid-conversation to like try and let
Ask
me
you
know.
about
But
Liam's.
yeah, I was like, what is she doing?
It's because I assumed you could see the same as I
Yeah.
can see because we co-share as like co-hosts and that. I don't know
No,
what I
you
thought.
nicked it off me.
Yeah, I did nick it off. Yeah. To be fair, he might have arrived early and have gone off to get a cup of tea because he's not expecting to be coming on it.
Yeah, that's what I do. You just get prepared, don't you?
Yeah, so should we just wait until he comes and have a different do you want me to tell you about shall I start the control freak conversation?
No, no, save it for 2 weeks because it'll be too
Oh, I'm too
long.
excited.
No, no.
I don't like secrets. I was telling somebody this the other day, like not even surprise ones. Have you got time to tell us about the watermelon?
Oh my God, I think so. That's actually would fit in well with the meats and greets and stuff like that. So I went out with an old friend at weekend and we went into a bar. Oh my gosh. So we went into a bar and her like stepbrother came in. I've never met him before and I've known her since I was like 11. So I thought that was really weird. Anyway, it was being a little bit flirty, like having a drink and like kind of flirting with me a little bit over the table. So he says
Still
to my
got it.
friend,
You
he
still
says to
got
my
it.
friend Amanda, so who's this then? So she said, oh, it's my friend Lisa. I've known her since school. So he says, oh, hi Lisa. You know what? I can't remember his name, but
Oh, he made
hi,
an
Lisa.
impression on you then.
Yeah, I'm such a body. So I said, oh, hi, I'm Lisa. And then I had this like full meltdown in my mind that he knows I'm called Lisa because she's just said, this is my friend Lisa. He's gone, hi, Lisa, I'm such a thing. And then I've gone, oh, hi, I'm Lisa. And the only thing I could think of, and I was like, oh my God, that sounded like I'd carried a watermelon, right? So then these people around the table were all like laughing, and all I could think of now was, oh my God, he's going to think I fancy him because I've literally told him that I feel like the line out of Dirty Dancing. I
Oh, did you
carried
say
a
it out
water.
loud?
Oh yeah, it come out loud out of my mouth. It come out.
Oh, this is worse than Colin the Caterpillar story.
But it just made me think of like the meet and greets or when I meet somebody. I don't know anybody, I don't know how to greet them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what to say.
I don't know. I don't know if I do or I don't. I think,
No, you do. That's why I was asking you about meeting your organ woman because you knew you had a question, you knew what you were going to say. Or like when we go out and strangers talk to us, you just know what to say. And I'm just like going, hi, my name's Lisa.
it's like that time. Oh, there we go. It's
Oh,
like
he's
that
here.
time. It
What's
is like
happening?
that time you used to shove
Hi,
me
Liam.
people with my broken
Hello,
arm.
girls.
Hello, Liam.
I was just like, why can I hear women chattering upstairs? What the fuck's going on? And I was like, all
We'd
right,
let
yeah.
you in, but we thought, oh, he's probably gone for a cup of cacao or something.
I said cup of
Tea.
tea. She didn't
Cup
correct
of
me.
tea.
Cup of tea. I've had my cacao. How are you
I've
doing?
had
All right.
I've had one of your cacaos this morning, Liam. I thought I would get ready for you. I would open my heart for you,
Good,
and I'm
good
here. I'm
prep.
ready.
And weirdly, before people obviously didn't even know you were coming on today, like, because this won't go out for a few weeks. But one of
Okay.
our members this morning, I do a fitness thing in the morning, and one of our members said, oh, I'm reading this really good book. I'm going to get it right this time. I said it the other way around a minute ago. But
Can't say
said,
it the
oh,
other way around because that's a step back in life, isn't it? That's like,
yeah, yeah.
right up. I was
that's
doing
what I
well and then I
did.
thought I'd destroy it.
I said from healer to dealer, and then she was like, "That's not the right way around, Alex." But yeah, she said she was reading your book this morning in the group, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. We've got him on the podcast today." So she's loving it.
Serendipitous. She's liking it. Good.
Yeah, yeah. She said it's
Good.
really good. So we'll have a little read of that one that's gone on the list.
It will sell 1 million copies eventually. I'm just
Yes, I
it's
like it.
like
Manifesting it.
one of the least things in my priority lists, but it will do. It just do its own thing. You know what I mean? It just takes that one person to read it and feel like that who's kind of in that industry. But I've actually been offered a couple of book deals recently for new books, but it just doesn't feel good when someone goes, "Yeah, you're gonna do this, and we're gonna sell your book, and you're gonna get 8%." It's like, shouldn't you get 8%?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I'll do all the work.
Yeah, but well, I guess that's the
Well,
way it is in them industries, isn't it?
I've not read it yet, Liam, but I am gonna. Is it on Audible?
It is on Audible, yeah.
Right. Who reads it? Do you read it?
Of course.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's another weird thing because this morning we were also talking about Alcohol Explained, and the author of that, William Porter, sounds like he should be 85, and the reader of it on Audible sounds really posh and like you
Right.
imagine William Porter to be. But when you meet him, he's a soft-spoken Southerner and he's only in his 40s, but
Yeah,
he's
it
not read it.
doesn't
Not
add up,
good.
does it? I just a guy I follow called Rob Moore. He does he's got like a proper horrible whiny Cockney accent. However, you know, I like his voice, and then but one of his early books, it's like narrated by someone else. I was like, this I'm not even I just don't feel it. Do you know what I
It's
mean? Like, even
weird,
though
isn't
his voice
it?
does me head in, it's like I like listening to him still because he's got good points. But when it's someone else, yeah. So I did mine myself when I was skint and did it in like under me stairs in this
Yeah.
little cupboard with loads of coats around me because it's like the best place for the sound, and it was fucking horrific. Like, it took me so long, but it was mainly the editing. The editing Like I did it all myself. I would never do it again. I'd pay someone to do it.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
funny you're talking about being under the stairs with your coats, right? When we first started our podcast, we used to do it underneath a clothes rack in Lisa's wardrobe with all towels hung over us and everything.
We
We used
did,
to get so hot.
Brilliant.
You know what else is really weird about this? Is because I was having a little bit of a nausea on your YouTube yesterday, Liam, and
Yeah.
I came across a video from like 2021, and you were packaging your cacao in your bedroom. And I actually thought, oh my God, that's like how we started in my bedroom. So then for you to say that you were doing the audible, that's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, so
started in my box room, then
yeah.
took over, then kicked one of my flatmates out. Well, I didn't kick him out; he left, and then used that, and then we've like done. I think we're on like our 4th upgrade of office, and we're looking for a bigger one now as well. So
Amazing.
Amazing. It's so good, isn't it? I
very,
want I want to talk to you a bit about this. So the first I ever actually heard about you was because of Dragon's Den, and not because I watched it. I'm really sorry. Neither of us watch any telly ever.
We got rid of our
But-
TV
and
licenses.
I don't watch telly. To be fair, I didn't have a TV for about 12 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Well,
I've got the
that's
TV,
all
just
right.
no license.
Yeah, no,
I don't have a
no,
fucking license.
no, absolutely not. We don't do any of that. But it was actually my son that, so I've got a 21-year-old, and he told me about you. And because I was actually trying cacao at the time, and he said, oh my God, Mum, you've got to see this guy. He was on Dragon's Den. So he told me about it, and then I kind of had a look on Instagram and stuff like that. So will you tell us a little bit then, if you didn't watch telly, how did you get to Dragon's Den and what happened?
How did I get to Dragon's Den?
Yeah.
Went in the
One of your
car.
mates, eh? Yeah, yeah. I just drove there. One of my mates was like, you should apply for Dragon's Den. I think you'd smash it. And I was like, all right. So I just filled the form in double quick because I'm always really busy. I was like, just give it hardcore. I'm not gonna like dilute anything. Bam, 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 bam. And then just fucking forgot about it. And then a few months later, someone messaged me from their production team, was like, we're really interested in you. Can you do a video? So I did a video, and then you basically go through this screening process where it's probably easier to like get in Buckingham Palace or like buy a gun than get on the BBC. Jesus Christ, like so yeah, it was just like this process of like continually having these meetings, these chats, like why'd you put this there? What's that to do with that? They had to ask me to delete a couple of videos on my socials, and then when when it all like got confirmed that, well, they're always going, it's not confirmed, but you've probably gone, even when you do the show, it's like, yeah, you're gonna shoot it, but it's not definitely gonna get aired. And I was like, mine's definitely gonna get aired because don't have anyone like me on your show. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I was not worried about not getting aired, and then we smashed it anyway. But yeah, it was just like a whole kind of process of I think from getting the green light, it was probably like 6 months and 7 months till we filmed it, and then it was like another 8 months of basically you do this thing and it's like, fuck yes, I just smashed it. Like the producers were going, that's one of the best, that's got to be one of the best pitches of all time, that's got to go down in history. And then you just like do these interviews, the dragons come and chat with you, and then you just leave, go and have like a little celebration with two of your mates that you can tell that you're not supposed to tell, and then you just hear nothing. It's like nothing. You're like, oh. And you just have to wait the 8 months till it gets aired.
Oh my
You
God.
can tell anybody. It's like kind of winning the FA Cup and then going, you're not allowed to tell anybody, and you've got no fans. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
You've got no fans. I wouldn't be able to cope with no fans, I'm afraid.
yeah. But yeah, it was.
Tell us, go back further, Liam, if you will. Tell us, like, how did you even get to the point where, obviously, the book's going to give a little bit of it away, but like, dealer to healer, like,
yeah.
go back in time for us.
I guess it's almost gone full circle now. I feel like I'm a dealer again, but
I
I'm
was just
just dealing something that's legal, and I'm not going to get, other than the tax man potentially. There's nothing that I can do that's illegal within that. You know, I could serve somebody, I could overdose somebody on cacao, and I wouldn't get arrested. So, yeah. So it just like the cacao thing started in 2012. before that, I'd been sort of like suicidally depressed for a few years. I lost my mum in 2007 in my last year at uni. And then was just kind of like I was selling drugs in and trying to sort my life out, and then just kind of hit this sort of suicidal depression, and then was, you know, grasping at old behaviors that I'd kind of let go of, to try and sort of find some happiness. And then kind of got arrested, got caught with lots and lots of drugs on me. Then they found lots more drugs in my house. I was looking at going down, and then it was kind of like that was kind of like the pivotal moment where I was going, right, I need to kind of sort my life out, and I don't know what I'm doing, because I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. So I kind of give myself this target of like 3 years, and if I hadn't found happiness, I would like kill myself. And I'd come close to it quite a few times actually. I just didn't want to exist anymore. Couldn't see anything positive in my past, present. Couldn't see anything positive in the future. Didn't really like the world. Was this angry kind of young man, this angry Mancunian. My mum said I was an angry little boy, and then I was an angry young man. She didn't really get to see me not angry, but
Oh,
that's happened now. I still have a little bit of, you know, can have a little whinge here and there, and like
yeah,
I think my students are a little bit scared of me, which is good. You know what I mean? It's like, because I'm like on it with like, this is how we get to a place of greatness. It's like no
yeah,
fucking about. And that's why a lot of people come to me, because they're like, I was gonna do training with someone else, but I saw you and I thought, you're not gonna allow me to fail. You're not gonna allow me to not show up. And that's what I
yeah,
do. And you know, you go to some retreats and like, oh, you know, if you're not feeling it one day, don't show up. I'm like, fucking show up, man. Because if you leave here thinking my receipt's shit and you've not been to everything, that's the reason. Like, you've got to, it's like reading a book and going, I missed 3 chapters. It was shit. I didn't really get what was going on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You're a dickhead. Yeah. It's like read the whole thing. You know, when you're looking at a picture, you don't just look at the corner of it, look at the whole thing. Like, my stepdad fell out of me about my book because I was like, he just read the chapters that he was in. I was like, read the whole thing, man. You've got to read the
yeah,
thing for it to come into context. But it's like you just looked at a small bit of a picture and had an opinion on a piece of art that's vaster than that. So yeah, then kind of like, because of the getting arrested, I was like doing the 12-step program, because I was like, right, I'll try and convince everybody that I'm an addict so that I don't go to prison. So it was like started going to the 12-step meetings, and the 12-step meetings, to be honest, they like really, really changed my life. Like a lot of the cognitive processes within it, you know, taking responsibility for, you know, who's the most prevalent character in all your problems, you. And to sort of like start cleansing that out and realizing that, you know, people are just playing their part in your dramas. And yeah, I just found the 12 steps like transformative, even though I wasn't an addict and I felt like a bit of a fraud. And then when I kind of got to step 10 or step 11, and it was like, you know, to have a spiritual awakening, I was like, nah, not into this. But I, you know, through the program, I've noticed that when I wasn't praying to God and getting on my knees, that my days weren't as good. So I was kind of like scientifically kind of like playing with it and going, there's something in this. But then I was like, you know, I'm not having a spiritual awakening. I'm not doing that. But then when you read my book Dealer to Healer, you realize that I complete the other steps just in life in general. Do you know what I mean? Starting on my
yeah,
yogic path, and you see a lot of stuff that's within yoga, that's within like Buddhist teachings, that everything's taken, everything in Western psychology, Western counseling, it all comes from kind of Buddhist cognitive behavioral therapy, really. And same thing with the 12 steps. So yeah, it was just kind of, I guess that's going back to the dealer stuff. He used to sell drugs in fabric, and fucking at uni, I was probably the only person who left uni with 30 grand in his pocket.
yeah.
Wish I'd done it now. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you shit yourself when the door goes in the middle of the night, but you know,
Yeah, that's the thing, always looking over your shoulder.
yeah. But he paid for all my traveling every summer. I went like camping around Europe and going to festivals and stuff. So it was good fun.
So
This is the
let's
thing
talk
about
about that.
sorry.
I know, we're really
We're
bad.
terrible.
We're always like this. Don't change.
It won't change anyway.
We're on season 12, still the same. We still don't know when to stop talking. I want to talk to you because I was listening to a bit of a podcast that you'd done with somebody else before about because you're not actually sober, are you? But can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I was interested in what you were saying about alcohol.
No, well, I am sober
Yeah.
because I couldn't tell you the last time that I was drunk or was out of control with substances, well, alcohol. I've been out of control with plant medicines, like, you know,
Yeah.
that's within a ceremonial setting. But with drinking, I was totally sober for about 3 years, and then I was in Spain and with my friend, and it was kind of like that thing of like when it's hot and stuff, and it's like, oh, just like a little mouthful of beer, do you know what I mean? And I was like, is this like, I'm like, can I do that? You know, is that all right? And but I kind of felt like I was totally within my power within that, do you know what I mean, in control. And they have these little things
Yeah.
called Doritos in. I'm not, some people can't do that. A lot of my students, they just cannot
Yeah.
go back to one touch and they're fucked. But I was never really an addict. You know what I mean?
That story
Yeah.
makes me
You know what I
smile.
mean? So I was never an addict. You know, I'd have drugs in my drawers full of drugs, and people come out, how the fuck do you not eat all them? Or do you know why you
Yeah.
not? Well, how can you sit there? And like, I just do it when I want to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Well,
it
you
was.
don't make 30 grand, do you, if you're taking the drugs that you're selling?
And so yeah, so it's kind of like people assume that I'm sober. All my events that I do are sober. Yoga retreats that I do, my festivals, my teacher trainings, everything is like there's not a trace of alcohol with and anything that I do. When I put the dance parties on, there's no alcohol. But if I'm in a restaurant and I go, do you know what? I like a little Estrella or something, and I'll have it. And then I'm just like, that's well, I'll just have one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I am sober because I don't get drunk. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think sometimes we're a bit rigid with labels anyway, and we've both said this. Like,
Mm.
honestly, I truly, 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 I wasn't an addict. I had an issue with alcohol because I would go to excess every single time I drank. But if I
Yeah.
was to go back now, I don't want to go back as it happens. But if I was to go back, I fully believe that I could just have one.
That's absolute bollocks.
No, I
There is
reckon I
no
could. I reckon I could.
No, absolutely not.
The only reason I don't even bother to try is because of be sober, because then you'd just be
There
pissed,
is-
wouldn't you?
Well, not necessarily. If you could just have one, but it's
I
it's
reckon I
about
could.
it's about do you want to take that risk? With a lot of addicts, it's like it's not worth the risk, man. Like because you could have one and then you could destroy your life for 3 years instantly.
Yeah.
Boom, you're done, you're fucked. But
The
then
thing is, it's
there's a,
so
there's a
good
thing.
now,
It's
like,
like everybody's into this thing of like I'm in recovery, and like for
yeah,
me, it's like you want to get recovered. So it's like
Yeah.
you're in control of everything that
Yeah.
you do. Nothing has any power over you, and that's what a lot of yogic, the yogic path is all about. It's like to control your senses, to be in
yeah.
control of everything that you're doing, your behaviors, your thoughts, your words, your actions, everything. Do you know what I mean? What you're putting into your body.
I think the thing is as well, like, genuinely, I don't want to change it because I'm really happy where I am. So I feel like I'm in control, and not that I have to not drink or I have to not do this. I just don't want to at the minute. I don't have any desire to. I hope I never have any desire to. Do you know what I mean? Because I like where I am. You're
Yeah.
the same though, aren't you? You won't ever go back.
No, my life's too good since I stopped. Like everything came together. And I think we're very similar, Alex and I, in our reasons for stopping. And it was, I had 3 teenagers that
Yeah.
were going wildly, and they were probably coming to people like the old version of you. And it was a bit of a nightmare, and I had to show up as a parent and be there. And what I was doing instead was binge drinking at a weekend, trying to forget like how shit my life was. And since stopping drinking, my life has just become too good. And I've grown up quite spiritual. So when I was a kid, my mum used to do tarot cards, and she would take me to spiritual fairs. And if I had nightmares, she knew somebody that had the right rune stone or crystal, or so that's always been a massive part of my life. And I think since stopping drinking, I've kind of gone back to me. That's who I was, and I feel like I'm getting there now. But I think this is why I literally love what you're doing. I love the ceremonies. I love the getting people together. But I want to know more about cacao, because I've got your cacao and I absolutely love it. But when I try and explain to people what it is, I'm not really nailing it. So, because people don't know about it.
I don't really know about it because I don't do this stuff.
So cacao is classed as a plant medicine. It's a superfood, in kind of like it's to expand your consciousness. Cacao has its own consciousness. It's as a plant medicine. it's lady cacao. And what cacao is doing is basically scientifically it's opening the capillaries and the arteries around the heart. It's pumping more oxygen around the brain, because raw cacao and ceremonial grade cacao is the kind of highest concentration of all these chemicals, and anandamide allows manageable amounts of dopamine, serotonin, all the kind of bliss chemicals, the chemicals that, you know, happen when you fall in love, like phenethylamine. And so it's cacao is wanting everybody in the world to be living their life purpose. When you're living the life purpose, there's no anxiety, there's no stress, there's no depression, there's just joy, fun, and laughter. And if you're living your life purpose, you just, you know, you're happy, man. That's why a lot of mental health issues are, because people, especially in the West, don't have a purpose or don't know why they're here. It's like, what the fuck am I doing here, man? Like, there's no, I mean, we've got no spiritual backbone to what we're doing, and it's to kind of bring that in. And you know, the spirit of cacao wants humans and nature to be back into alignment, because, you know, it's become the harmonization of humans and nature has been whacked, and it's kind of bringing that oneness back in. But you know, cacao is amazing for women because of the high flavonoid and the magnesium and iron. So the magnesium and iron is especially what you get depleted in during the bleed. Amazing for perimenopausal, amazing for menopausal. So being amazing for women also makes it amazing for their partner, whether they be a woman or a man.
Happy
so
wife, happy life.
Exactly, man. But you know, a lot of people, a lot of women, you know, I'd say probably like 80% of our customers are women. When I was a yoga teacher, 80, probably 90% of my students were women, and women have kind of been holding the fort on the spiritual quest for the last 2000 years. And it's like, now it's time for men to start stepping up their kind of divine masculine. But yeah, so it's amazing for your gut health, amazing for muscle elasticity, amazing for cognition. It's a natural antidepressant, and amazing to use, because if you have a ceremonial dose, go out clubbing or whatever, you'll have an amazing time, because your heart opens. It's almost like you've took a little tiny quarter of a pill or something, and you're just like. Some woman was like, we live in this like really rural place in the middle of nowhere, and like people keep coming past, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna start teaching yoga?" I was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh, we've got your cacao. I've never met this woman before." And she was like, "I had one, and then I had another one." She went, "And then I had another one, and oh my God." I was like, "Oh, do you have 3 in a day?" She was like, "Oh, just like floating." I was like, "Yeah, that's what happens if you have a ceremonial dose. Like it's that's why we're trying to get it in more cafes, more even bars. We want it in bars. It's like, you know, if you do, because I don't like being in bars. I don't like the energy. I don't like being in those environments. It just doesn't serve me. However, it's like when people are starting on the journey and they're kind of getting sober, but they still want to go out. It's like, have a cacao, you know, right? You know, because you're still getting a little vibe, but you're not going to be. You could have 5 cacaos in an evening. You're not going to be a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? If you have 5 pints,
Unless you're already a dickhead.
unless you're a dickhead, like permanently. Oh no, actually, you won't be a dickhead because you've been drinking cacao. Your heart's open. The true version of yourself, the true version of yourself, which is beautiful, which is magnificent, which is divine, is going to start oozing out of you. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything that's not that is just bullshit that you've put in your way. So it's like,
I love it.
I love that you can do the science.
We're de-dickadizing the UK.
Yeah. They all need a bit, don't they? All of them.
Do you
all
know
these road users around here? Give them all some.
Do you know, Liam? I had when we first got your cacao. A few of me and my friends had your cacao on a night. We made some, and we made loads because we'd not got the dosage right. So we ended up with loads. And honestly, there was 4 of us, and we'd done like a bit of a spiritual night. We'd done a meditation and Reiki and stuff like that. Anyway, I remember sat on the sofa, and I was really chilled, right? And one of my friends just looked at me and she went, "Oh my God, you look stoned," right? And we laughed. I swear to God, we laughed for 20 minutes solid. 4 of us, we couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, can it do that? Because honestly, somebody knocked on the door, and it was like in the old days, you know, when I
Mm.
were stoned and somebody knocked on the door and they shouldn't, and you get the really bad giggles. That is what it was like. We had the best night. And when I got home, he had a good night after as well.
That's the aphrodisiac side of cacao.
Happy, there you
so
go.
it
Happy
does
life,
make
happy
sense.
life. It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had so many like amazing emails, messages, especially since we used to get them all the time anyway, especially from women, just about how it's helped them during the cycles. But then also people, it's just
Yeah.
opened them up and they're like, I just sat down in my house for like 20 minutes and just chilled and looked out my window. Went, I've never done that before. And
I
usually,
think I need some of this. Because
You should try it.
You know what? I think I do. Right. I'm so highly strung. So out of the two of us, like Lisa's dead spiritual, dead spiritual. I'm becoming a little bit more so. Just to give you a tiny bit of story, and then that's it. Is I play the church organ. So every Sunday when I'm playing the church organ, it's a newish thing. Last 2 years, obviously I'm hearing the prayer and all that, and it's actually done me a lot of good. Heck of a lot of good. And that's my kind of meditation time. But I'm also massively science based. So when you're talking about serotonin and dopamine and the chemicals, I'm thinking, oh, I can buy into this. But
yeah.
also, I just think sometimes I need to chill out. I do
Yeah,
need to
that's
just,
people into science don't chill very much. It's like I'd rather not be into it. It's like science. It's like okay, like Wim Hof and stuff, and the yogis in the cave, and they've been living just in a loincloth in the Himalayas, and science is like that's not possible. We're gonna, and it's like well, we use a different technique of breathing, and it's like the scientist goes off for 5 years and studies it and comes back to him and goes, yeah, you guys are right. It is through the breath and it is possible. The yogi's like, okay, you just wasted 5 years. We could have told you that. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? Fucking, we know this shit. You know what I mean? Everything like it is good when it lines up for those people who are sort of super critical and super like I need scientific proof, but science is always getting proven and disproven. So it's
Yeah.
actually there's something beyond that, which is the laws of the universe. Do you know what I mean? And it's like cacao is this magical thing. Like I've only just kind of got into the science of it just so I can like spit some stuff out. For me, it was like, right, it's healing people, it's opening them up, it's allowing them to release emotions within my ceremony that they've been holding on to for ages.
Yeah.
They've then gone away and either quit the job that they're not serving, got rid of the partner that's not serving them, or gone and found a partner that is serving them, or whatever it is, and just all this feedback that you're getting, and you're like, fuck me, man, like this shit's powerful, and it's all that energy of the cacao that is, I facilitate it within a way, and our cacao is blessed by me. It's got our name on it. Me and my partner, we bless it. We put our energy into it. So that's kind of why you're getting this kind of more powerful feeling as well. But the cacao as well, we're really blessed that we found this cacao in Venezuela because again, some of your listeners might be like, oh, I'm going to buy cacao, and they might see the price of mine and go, oh, I can get another one. Yeah, because it's like wine,
It's not the
it's like
same.
coffee. You've got your
Yeah.
artisan and you've got your dog shit coffee that you get from the 69p for, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, and everything in between. So our cacao is like creme de la creme, and there's a few ceremonial grade cacaos. There's probably 2 or 3 which have an equal vibration and potency. They don't taste as good though. That's the one blessing and the one thing that I'm like, find me a cacao that tastes better than mine because I don't think it exists in the world. But there is 2 that have a similar vibration and would still work quite similar energetically within a ceremony and open people up.
it's
I've
so
got to
weird. I could
agree
have sped
with
mine up, Lisa. I could have sped all this up. What you're describing. So when Lisa was saying before about us stopping drinking, I was a year after Lisa because of anxiety. And honestly, once I got sober, I changed my job. I changed my hobbies. My marriage got happier. All those things. I can't believe I could have cut this in half by having some drinks.
That's what I say to people when I used to teach like physical yoga, and people come and the first time I was like, have you done yoga before? They're like, no. I was like, are you sure you're ready for this? And they're like, yeah. And no, but not many other yoga teachers say this because they're like desperate to have people at the class. I was like, well, if you keep coming, this will fuck your life up. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it'll destroy your life. I said, your clothes will change, you'll get better habits, your friends will be more beautiful, everything you do will be nicer. But, you might even start wearing some harem pants and like some tie-dye. And they're like, go and sit down, take a nap.
Oh, I love it. I've got to take you back to the taste though, because I do agree that yours tastes absolutely incredible. And when I was doing a few women's circles a few months ago, and every time I made it, people loved it. And I put it down. This is really bad actually thinking about it. I was like, it's because I play nice music and I put Reiki symbol. I didn't give you any credit for it. I was I'm like, it's because of my Reiki symbol.
That's called fraud, that.
I know, I've just realised that I've done it. So to
You have
anybody
to
that
put a
came,
disclaimer out. You're going to have to retract a
am-
retraction.
Come
I
on,
am going to have to.
public
But
statement.
But a few people did try buying like different ones and they were like, it just doesn't taste as good. And I have honestly, I've referred them all and said, you have to try this one. And I love that you put all the recipes on your website, don't you? So when I did get yours, I literally went onto the recipes because I love a little shop and I was like, right, I need that sugar, that sweet, you know, like, so I did get everything and it tastes incredible. People, when I make it for them, literally fingers in the cup afterwards. It's that nice. It's good.
Yeah, that's what we get all the time. And it's, you know, basically it's I just found this recipe that works. It's the little bit of sweetness, the little bit of salt, and it's kind of like I always loved salted caramel. And actually,
Yeah.
you go to any chocolate shop or anything, salted caramel outsells everything by about 5-1. So I was just like, rather than, especially now, because it's like 150 people come to my ceremonies, I can't have condiments out and people putting a little bit of chili. People put a bit of chili out. Someone puts a whole teaspoon of chili, and you're like, you fucking.
Oh, they do it with the maple syrup. I've noticed. If you take maple
too
syrup,
sweet. It's like, start small, man. Like,
yeah, they're so
know,
greedy and
surely
it's
you
dead
do not cook in
expensive.
your. They cannot be cooking in their house because they'd be like, well, I can't eat that. You know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. So yeah, it's a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of salt, salted caramel, and you know, these people do ceremonies and people make cacao and serve it to a group of people and make it taste too bitter, and it's like, you know, there's probably one person out of that might like it really bitter. We'll do on yoga show and there's like 25,000 people over 3 days, and I'll get one person ask for it bitter, and it's like, I'm not going to cater for that. Like, and actually, you know, all the gods, all the, like Ganesha, when you see a picture of Ganesha, he's always got loads of sweets around him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, sweetness helps open the heart as well. So it's like, bitter. You're gonna stay bitter. Stay bitter.
You know what though?
Oh, that's what I was described as bitter one.
I think it's
Stay sweet, man. You want to be sweet or bitter?
You know, the first time I ever had it, not yours, from another ceremony I was at, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting. And
was
I'm
this
like,
a ceremony with the monk where the monk told you not to ask questions?
Those people making it like that have put loads of people off cacao, because we've gone to people and they don't like it. And I've like, have you tried mine? No. I'm like, that's like trying coffee at Betty's Baps fast food and then trying an artisan place and going, I don't like, you know what I mean? I don't like it because Betty's was disgusting. Betty's Baps, greasy spoon. Do you know what I mean? Getting a cup of coffee from there and going, I don't like coffee. It's like, well, actually, sorry, carry on, you monk.
Oh no,
was
it wasn't there. But it was disgusting when I first tried it. And then in my head, because it's like, this might sound really daft, but because I was doing a spiritual thing, I thought I really forced it down. And it weren't till I went to somewhere else and had it. And they was like, well, I had a bit of maple syrup or I had this. And I was like, oh, can you do that? And they were like, well, yeah, why would you not? It doesn't have to taste shit to be spiritual.
Some people think that. Some people are deluded into thinking it's got to taste bitter and gritty and like earthy and shit, and you've got to struggle to drink it. It's not ayahuasca. Like Keith the cacao shaman is like the person who brought cacao into the mainstream. I sat with him on his porch every day. He always had lots of different sugars out, different condiments, and then people try and tell me how it should be made. As like, I sat there with Keith. Do you know what I mean?
Keith.
Keith, the cacao shaman, and like that's how it was. It's as long as you're getting the cacao in your system, you know, as long as you're not putting cow's milk with it, as long as you're not drinking it with alcohol, you're getting the benefits. Like make it palatable. Enjoy drinking it, because that's obviously going to make the process even better.
I'm glad you've said that, because imagine if people put like vodka in it or something, or like
yeah, but
no, but I bet
kill it. You'd kill all the niceness. Let me ask you something else then, because you've just mentioned it. Have you ever done any other ceremonial things?
Yes.
You just said about ayahuasca. Because I desperately want to try something ceremonial.
Don't be desperate. There's no point turning up to anything desperate.
No, but I do. I don't want. I won't go in all like
You
me,
can
me,
be
me.
eager.
Don't worry.
Eager.
No, I do
No
want
one
to try
likes
something.
desperate.
Nobody likes a needy fucker, Alex.
And if you were that desperate, you'd have done it by now.
No, but I mean, no, right. Well, let me explain then. Seriously, because my brother-in-law has done ayahuasca. He's been to a ceremony, and the guy who he did the ayahuasca ceremony with had spent time out in the Amazon and learned it all properly. Blah blah blah. Anyway, when he mentioned it to me, I thought, oh, like I'd really like to do that, but I'm scared. I'm scared of doing it. So when I say I'm desperate, I'm not actually desperate. I'm actually too scared to do anything.
Everybody should be scared of doing it. It's an intense. People ask me what it's like, and it's amazing, but also it's super grueling. It's super like. It's intense, man. But when you know, everything in your life, all the beauty, all the magnificence, like having a kid, you know, fucking painful. But at the end of it, you've got this beautiful thing that, you know, changes your life, that you're connected to, that you're totally in love with. And same thing with ayahuasca. It's like, are you prepared to like get rid of all your shit? It's going to be painful. But when you come to the other side of it, it's like, thank fuck, why didn't I do that 10 years ago, man? Do you know what I mean?
This is why that's where I want to do it, because I actually think that it'd do me a lot of good to get some stuff out. You hear, I mean, I've heard
Especially
stuff
with
as
your
well that-
sciencey brain.
yeah, it is my sciencey brain. But talking about all like, you know, you hear people saying that you see like another dimension that you didn't know existed, but you can get that through breath work as well, I believe. So
you get that through breath work, but you know, and people can get that through meditation. A lot of Buddhists and monks and stuff, and like deep meditation practitioners can tap into that. It's available to us all the time. All the medicine is doing is just releasing that little kind of like opening the pituitary gland, allowing the right side of our brain to be super active, and dropping us into that other way of consciousness, and you know, realizing we're just trapped in this physical body for however many years it is, and once we pass, we go back to all that is. So it's just kind of giving us a little glimpse of that, and then also just allowing us to cleanse a lot of the bullshit that we've been holding on to. And that's, you know, ayahuasca, cacao is a very subtle way. Like people have come to my cacao ceremonies and gone, fuck man, that was like an ayahuasca experience. And because of what we use, it's not just the cacao, it's like the mantra, it's the drumming, it's the healing that we use, it's the way that I talk, and I really fucking trigger people. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, this is the way things are.
start small, start with cacao. Don't
Alex, why don't me and you go to one of his ceremonies then?
All right.
Yeah, right. Just for our listeners, Alex says she does stuff like this, but then she never actually does it.
Well, actually, wait for two. You know, remember we were talking about this with the human design stuff, and you said I never do it. I've done it, so I'm doing stuff. Come on.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll do it. We'll book on.
What are you with human design?
The projector.
Projector. Okay.
Basically, I'm a needy fucker. It said.
We'll do it. We'll
controlling and domineering.
So I'm just outside of Manchester.
Okay.
In a little bit near the Pennines, and Alex is in South Manchester.
Okay. Well, the next ceremony is in it's in Bowden near Altrincham.
Oh yeah, that's near me.
Yeah,
not far from me.
It's nearly sold out.
Is it? When is it?
14th. It's like a couple of weeks. I think it's
and when's your one after that? Your next one after that?
9th of December. 1st of December. I don't know. It's on the website. Yeah.
Decemberish. Do you know where that one is?
Same place.
Right. Okay. We'll have a look at them.
We'll have a look after this, and we'll get booked onto one, because I would love to do it, and I'm way too scared to do it. After a magic mushroom experience as a kid, ayahuasca really scares me. So I will start with cacao.
I wanted to do psilocybin. That's what it was, not ayahuasca.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to do, the psilocybin. And we had Professor Nutt on, and he was like,
oh really?
Yeah, and he was doing stuff with psilocybin, and he said he's going to come back on again. So I'm waiting for him to come back on and talk to us about that.
Do you want me to? I've got a poem that's got Professor Nutt in it. If you want me to share.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can find it. I've not even heard of him for ages. So
You be looking for that, but let me ask you:
Yeah,
are
keep
you
going.
based in Manchester? Then is that where you're from?
No, my business is based in Manchester. I'm
Yeah.
based in Southwest Wales.
Oh right, okay.
Nice.
So you're actually having to come and travel up to Bowden then?
Yeah.
My dog training's in Bowden. Just saying. I don't know how interesting that is.
Very interesting. I'll be at the next one.
Good
I
story,
don't know
that.
why I say these things. There's something serious. See what I mean? I need some ayahuasca.
Jesus Christ. It's all gonna go off. Where is it? Actually it's a poem about drinking. Here we go. Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be a drug dealer. I used to sell Mandy and pills. I made so much money, kept it in a treasure chest in my room. People, they would come and they would go, getting their fix. You look at me with disdain, but the office sells to those that slur. I used to sell to the clever. They were all getting degrees. They were all from money that came to me for their ease. I made kids dance all through my uni years. They would party hard, fantastic sex on X. Forever friends, hearts fully opened for the first time. Love pouring out, cuddles, kisses, embraces like you've never felt. So open, so free. No more parents nagging away. We all thanks the E. They all partied hard, still got their degrees. Council estate kid taking their family's fees. So thanks to the kids of the doctors and lawyers, politicians and city physicians, you paid for my degree. Not that I want it. It means nothing to me. I just did it to show that I could. So what do you feel looking at me? Knowing what you now know, do you look down on me? They all had a good time, no danger in sight. Look around you. Dynamite, pubs and shops and supermarkets give you alcohol to pump into your guts, forced upon you everywhere you go by parents, by university. It's the government's brew. Everywhere you go, everywhere you turn, there's someone trying to pump it into you as if it's good for your health. But if you only knew the truth, but if you knew, would you listen? Would you change? So ingrained in you in society and all that you do. My granddad was an alcoholic and died one too. In 2010, The Lancet published a study. Professor Nutt ranked the most used drugs according to which were the most nuts for society and you. Mushrooms came last with a score of 6. Acid scored 7. Alcohol came first with 72. And the smack, this is going to shock you, 55 for a dive into the world that we all criticize. So look what you're putting into you. The government employed the most renowned professor in the field. They didn't like the facts he found with the best evidence around, didn't fit the manifesto. We just gave him £1 million. That professor's a nut. That's how they turned it around. Maybe alcohol is a way of control. You sit there and drink it as if it's the norm. But if I cut up a line and did it on your table, you'd turn your nose up as if I just shat on your lawn. Now I've done it all, so I can have an opinion. Smack is officially better for you than the alcohol in your home. Mind-altering substances have to be banned. If you tried a few more, you'd see how profound the society we live in telling me what to do. Let me listen to my heart. It will show me the truth. Not these eaten schoolboys from afar. I'm a grown man. I'll put in my body whatever I want. Something that grows in a field. I can't dry it out at home and have a beautiful journey alone. The fact is, I do no harm to myself or anyone else. I'm expanding my mind. They don't want that. See, the plants are our teachers. They give us a helping hand. Let us see into our minds to heal, to feel us move evolution along. So get stuck into your pint and your narrow mind. Look down on me for what I've been. When in fact, you do each other so much wrong. So remember, heroin has been better for you all along.
Love it. It's brilliant.
That's amazing. Don't do heroin, kids, though.
Don't do heroin. Just making a point.
Yeah, just put.
When did you write that?
Oh, probably about 10 years ago, I wrote that.
That's incredible.
But
So
Professor
good
Nutt,
with
yeah.
your voice and accent, though. Like, you read that so well. That's really good.
Is that an exclusive? Have we just had an exclusive?
An
Liam Browne
exclusive, yeah. I
poem?
don't know if I've done that in public before.
Oh, I love
my
it. Thank you
gosh.
for doing it on here.
No, but it's
I'm
just 'cause
trying
you
to
said
jot down
Professor
the
Nutt. What was
time
he
so
saying
I
about
can get
Professor
it.
Nutt anyway? What was he saying?
Oh, just that he was talking about like, well, he would basically, he's got the drink. What's the drink called, Lisa?
Stella.
No, I don't know. It's on top of my cupboard in there.
Go and look, because we can't not talk about it now.
Hold
Although
on.
she's
What
going
kind of
looking.
drink is it?
He's got an alcohol-free drink, but it's
right.
it's gabba
Okay.
Same sort of thing. But he's also done a lot of studies on the psilocybin, eh?
Sentia.
Sentia.
I got halfway and
Sentia.
remembered.
Sentia.
Sentia.
Yeah. Yeah, Sentia, and he does 2 flavors and it's mixers. And at the time when he came on, he sent us some, and we were both like, oh, you know, like feeling a little bit naughty doing it because it does alter your mind, but it's naturally altering your mind by your own GABA production.
Yeah. And
So it's
people are
similar
scared
sort
of
of thing.
altering the mind. It's like, why don't you alter your mind? Because you're only using 1% of it. If you altered it, you'd use more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to alter my mind. It's like, your mind's shit. Alter it.
I know, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because there's so much of it that we're not using, but it's ingrained in us to be feared of using it, which makes so much sense. And that comes from the government, doesn't it? Like they are telling us that things that get things working are bad for us, yet they want to dumb us down with
society as
alcohol.
well, and telling us, you know, don't do that, don't do this. Everybody, it's like herding sheep. Do you know what I mean? Everybody.
But they do it through fear. That
Yeah,
is a fact. I mean, there was somebody in government once said, keep them afraid and keep them bored, and they'll do as they're told.
It's the best way.
And then keep them boozed up, because that just numbs everything down, doesn't it? That does nothing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just numbs us down.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Don't let your life or your happiness be dependent on any exterior factors. Like, I couldn't give a fuck what the government do. I'll find a way around it. I'll slip, I'll slide, I'll be flexible. And that's what yoga teaches. Yoga is all about rebellion from the mainstream anyway. That's when the first yogis started. It was like, why do I want to live like that? It's shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I remember saying to my mate when I was like 15, I was like, fuck 9 to 5. Like, why do we have to do that? It sounds wank. It's like, have you seen our dads? Miserable as fuck.
It's so true. And that's like both of us now. We're both self-employed as well now. Like, I can't imagine I was a teacher, right, in a college, in a school. Oh, I can't even tell you how much I wish my kids weren't in school now, and I wish I'd have homeschooled them, and I wish I'd have just let them be free. Like, we are literally got factories where we are brainwashing young people to all think and be the same.
Yeah, but I was in one of them, and I've broke away from it and kind of.
What was you like in school, Liam?
Naughty.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ever guessed that.
I think that was a good thing. It was just like, you know, it's like it's a wank way of like spending your days, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's so boring, so hot in there.
Long, innit, and boring. I think the stuff they like.
It's good for the social. Like, I like the social bit of it. You know, you're just pissing about with your mates all day, and that's kind of what I did. That's what I enjoyed about it. But yeah, it was kind of like I didn't really understand it. I didn't think I'd ever end up going uni or anything, and I did. But it was like just because I could party a bit more, I think.
It says it in your poem. You don't even care about it, which is like good.
No, it's more my like because now I'm a businessman. Obviously, look, I'm a businessman.
You look very typical of a businessman.
Is it the chain?
It's the tie, it's the black tie.
No, but like, what was my point? I forgot what my point was. What was I going to say?
Because you were a businessman.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I can't remember where I was going.
We were saying about uni.
Oh no! So basically, being a businessman now, most of the things that come into play with it are things I learned from selling drugs and ducking and diving and being streetwise. Do you know what I mean? Rather than other things. And now I'm trying to within that learn more about shit, man. When you've got money, like the things you figure out about money are just incredible. What rich people do with the money, how they move money on so they don't pay tax with it, and it's nothing illegal. It's just what they're doing. But you know, that's what I say to people. The one way you're not going to get rich is by having a job.
Yeah.
You can even have a really high salary, but you'll spend that salary, and actually you're limited to that salary. And you're tired when you get back from work, and it's like, what are the opportunities? The only way you can get rich is to start, firstly, educate yourself on money, educate yourself on finance, get your heart open, make sure you're doing something that is coming from your heart, but also, you know, get financially literate, and then start exploring that and become self-employed, become an entrepreneur, or, you know, get jobs that teach you the skills that you want in marketing. Marketing's, you know, massive. Like that's what a lot of people recommend to get, you know, if you're a writer, learn about marketing, because it's like Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, is telling this like woman who's a writer and she's got all these doctorates and stuff, and he's like, I'm not a writer. She was like, you're a best-selling author. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not a writer. I'm not trained. I'm a crap writer. I just write information down, give it a really snappy title, and market it in a really good way. And she thought it was below her. I've studied at this place. I'm not going to learn about marketing. It's like, all right, well, stay smaller.
Yeah.
This what you're saying is like the ikigai stuff, in it, finding your purpose as well. You know, like finding what you love, what you're passionate about, what can make you money.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got that in my life now. I really do. Yeah, I do. Like I feel like I'm in exactly the right place. So I think cacao ceremony or something like that is probably the next thing for me. I do.
Can I ask you something, Liam? I want to ask you, because we've talked quite a lot about like your past and where you are now. Like, do you hold any shame or guilt or anything about the old Liam?
No, I was just training for the new Liam.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Why would I hold any guilt? If you're holding guilt on anything, you've not forgiven yourself. Yeah, I was a bit of a shit boyfriend to a few people, but you know, that's kind of, I wasn't like, didn't do anything super bad. It was just being a bit of a fucking lad. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
and I didn't have positive male role models growing up, so it's like I can't like, you know, berate myself or have any shame about what I've done. And that's the thing with anybody. It's like all that matters is who you are now and what you're going towards. It doesn't matter anything about it. It doesn't matter if you've done the worst thing. Like my dad the other day was like, I was like, he's got to die soon. He's like, I don't think I'll get into heaven. And I was like, why? He went, I've done some awful things. And I was like, fucking hell, if the ones I don't know about, they must be really awful then, because them ones are bad enough. I was like, bless you. I went, yeah, but you'll get another go. You can come back and do a good life, and then you go heaven the next time. He's like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah. He went, I don't believe in that bullshit. It's like, well, go to hell then. Have a good time.
Did you say he's going to die soon? Like, is he actually going to die?
Yeah. He's like 83. He's not great health. But it's only the last couple of years where he's really deteriorated. But yeah. But that's another thing. Another illusion is our perception of dying. It's like, oh, I'm sorry someone's died. It's like, fuck, they died. I'm so jealous. Like, get to go back to infinite possibility, infinite consciousness. They're not restricted by pains and aches within your physical being. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they've died. Like, they're fucking free, man. Let them enjoy it.
It's mad, isn't it, how shocked we get at people dying, like in ourselves.
And
like
everybody does it.
Yeah, like
it's popular, isn't it?
It's popular. Everyone wants to go.
Yeah, but we get so shocked by it. And I think it's like, you'd think we'd know more people that died, wouldn't you, as well?
I'm better at death now than I used to be, because I used to be really terrified of death. And my dad...
fake death, so... pretending to
good at it.
Speak of death now. It used to be eyes be going.
Both of us have lost our dads, like, years ago. My dad died.
You had a look for him?
I found him a few times, Liam. I'm telling you, he's been back. But that's another story.
I've seen your dad a few times.
I know you've seen him. You keep telling me about these bloody 5Ps, and then they won't leave me alone. Anyway, my dad's like 50. He was really spiritual, and he died at 63. It was a heavy drink. The stories go back to season 1. It's too boring. It's too boring to retell it. But anyway, he was never scared of death, never. And he always used to say, don't be scared of dying, be scared of being alive, right? He used to say, don't be scared of it. It's nothing to be afraid of. And he said the only thing he was ever worried about was how he would die. He wanted it to be peaceful and quick, and it was quick. But also, since I've been working at the church, and loads of people are doing it. They're always dying. I'm telling you, there's loads of people. It's really not that scary. What's scary is the people who get left. It's scary for them, people behind.
Yeah, but that's, again, like we talked about, that's all conditioning. It's all programming. It's all ways that certain religions and stuff have told us about. The Christian church cut out the section about reincarnation because they thought it would give people too much hope. And it's like
now
they don't want you to have hope. Is it back in now? They put
Well,
it back
it's not reincarnation, but there's a lot more talk around the eternal ever after. So there is the whole concept of going on is back.
Yeah, it's,
Well, certainly in our
I love
church,
all
maybe
those
it's just our
religions that
vicar.
have Jesus at the top of it, and they don't listen to anything that he said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's true, isn't
But
it?
yeah, we need to bring back this kind of lightness about death, because it's it's as beautiful as someone being born, because actually we should it's the reverse. We should be like, fuck, you're here, this place is fucked, man. And you're gonna have to go through so much shit now you're here, like
So true,
all the
innit?
trauma, you've just come out of a really tight hole, like that must have been really traumatic, and like your mum and dad are alcoholics. Wait till you go home, you live in a tiny little shit flat, man. That's gonna fuck you up. And when you're gonna go to a shit school in a shit area, right, and then you're gonna get a drink problem, and then you have a girlfriend that breaks your heart and that's gonna crush you. You're gonna want to kill yourself. But you don't know why you're killing yourself, because you don't know where you came from.
Oh, stop it. It's making me cry how hard life
That's what I mean. We should be wearing a black suit for births. Like, oh my God, like, we don't know what you're in for.
I've never agreed with
sympathy
something
to the best. With deepest sympathy.
When someone asks me to go and meet the kid now, I'm gonna go in a black suit. Don't worry, when you get to about 35, 40, it might get a little bit easier.
When you wake up, it is when you wake up and you start to go, shit.
Yeah.
You need to be living by all this. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
We need to get your links and put them on the podcast as well. What do you want us to put on? What's going to be best for you to put the website on and link to
The
book your
website, yeah,
retreats?
fullpowercacao.com and liambrowne.com, and then the handles are at fullpowercacao and at Liam Browne Love. Don't miss the E out of the Brown.
Right.
Oh, I just had to have a little glance then to see whether we had missed it out, but we haven't. I'm so impressed with us.
You guys are pros.
It used my maiden name was Cook, and it used to do my head in because my cook had an E, and it always used to get. And my first name actually, I'm always called Alexandra, and they miss the I out because it's Ria.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got caught with a load of E's on me, and I had to give me name at the station, I was like, it's Browne with an E. Plus all the ones you've took off me.
Did you say that? Please tell me you said it.
Bastards. At least they give one back. They put it on my name.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Oh, Liam, it has been so lovely to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It's been brilliant, and I've been so excited about it, and you didn't disappoint, so thank you.
Thank you.
Nice one.
We'll let you know when it's out, and we'll definitely come to your retreat.
Yeah, cool. Well, come to the ceremony, then tag us on the socials and that, and
yeah, we will do, definitely.
Like do a collaboration, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Thank you.
In fact, you know what we could do, Lisa? If we give it enough notice and do the December one, we can stick it on the website as an event and get a load of the Be Sober lot joining on as well.
Oh, I don't know whether I want to be this emotional in front of all our members.
Good. Vulnerability is good.
No, I'm kidding. I literally can't wait to get Alex there. That's the truth. I've not even got to a breathwork event yet, so this will be amazing.
I promise I will come to a ceremony. I promise.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, we're doing it. Liam, thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers, girls. Thanks for having
so
me.
much. You've been really good fun. Thank you.
All right.
Have an
Take
amazing
care. Have a good
day.
rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.